Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Mixed Media Mayhem, where today we are using blue, gold, and black in any kind of mixed media, whether it's a textile or paint or something, watercolor or something like that. I also am playing along with Off the Board, and I was inspired by that image of a hibiscus, and it inspired me to pull out this paper from Pretty Little Studio, which is from I think it's called Grateful Heart is the name of the collection. So I was just inspired to pull out this watercolory paper by when I saw that hibiscus. I was like, oh, I want to play with something that has some kind of watercolor in it, and I didn't actually want to pull out my watercolors, and I know I have to use blue, gold, and black. So I have pulled out some gold embossing powder, and I am going to basically fancy up this paper. I'm not doing a whole lot of changing to it. It's going to look very similar to what it looks like, but I'm adding some sparkle so when you see it in person, you get a more sparkly feel to it and just blinging it up or zhuzhing it up, I guess you might say. I've also pulled out a really old Glimmer Mist in Raven, which is kind of black. It's black, but it's got a little bit of a purple look to it, and I like the way that that's looking. And then I've pulled out a little bit of Nouveau Drops in a purple color, and I couldn't tell you the name of the color, but I do think I hold it up at some point. So I am putting some of that on there, but I'm going to end up using a paintbrush to kind of move it around a little because I don't want it super thick. I want it more like glitter glue, drawing flat rather than dimensional. And I'm liking how that's looking. The paper already has some blue in it. I will be pulling out a little bit of blue shimmers to kind of bling that up a little bit too, as well as some shimmers in I believe it's Cantaloupe, which is that peachy gold color. So just gonna be playing around with it here to kind of give it a little bit of sass, if you will. And I'm liking how that's looking. So here I go with the Cantaloupe. Maybe I didn't pull out the blue shimmers, but I think I did. I don't know. We're going to see shortly. I did this a little while ago, if you couldn't tell. Yeah, I think I do. So the Cantaloupe is a very good color match. In case you're wondering about that, the paper of swatches next to me, I was thinking I might use my Wink of Stella pens to kind of change or to add a little shimmer, but the colors just weren't the right colors for this particular layout. So I decided to kind of forego that. I had not swatched them in the past, and I don't think I'll probably keep that little piece of paper where I just tested them out. I don't use them very often, and I just wanted to see if the colors were a good match or not. And they weren't. So here I've gone to other products. So I'm just adding a little bit more of this Nouveau with my paintbrush, and I'm just kind of rubbing it on to the purpley areas that are on the paper. So there's the Cantaloupe color, and here's the blue. So I finally am getting the blue in there. I think I hold this up so you guys can see it, but I do have a couple of different blues that I thought would work. This one happens to be Oaky Bear Blue, and it's got a bit more shimmer than the other ones that I have. So I'm going to use that, and I'm liking how that's looking. It's just adding a little bit of the shimmery look. And now I have pulled out some Black Dilutions, I believe is what I pulled out there. I apologize, I didn't hold that up. But I know I have a little bit of black spray that I have just sprinkled over the paper. I've also sprinkled the blue and a little bit of the Cantaloupe. And now I've gone to my shimmer pen from Close to My Heart. It's just a clear shimmer pen. And I did use a peachy color shimmer pen from Nouveau, which is actually in the soft rose color. These frames are from 49 in Market, so I'm going to go ahead and use those to frame this photo. This is my niece's middle child at 10 months old, and that's all I'm documenting here is that she's 10 months old in this photo, and I apologize you don't get to see her beautiful little face and her big blue eyes. And I just liked this picture. Her shirt kind of has that indigo color to it. It's blue, almost leaning towards purple, so I thought it went really well with this paper. And then with her reddish hair, the peachy colors in the paper are highlighted as well. So my apologies if you hear my dog in the background. She is just, I'm not sure what she's talking about, but she's having a conversation. I have pulled out some flowers, and some of these are probably from the Grateful Heart collection, and some of them might be from the Wildflower collection. I think I've got them a little bit mixed up at this point because I've used them on another layout as well, way back several months ago. And so they could be a little bit of a mix. But I really like these flowers. I think they're super pretty, and I picked up a couple of different packs of them because I feel like I can always use florals even if I don't have the exact matching paper, because a lot of papers, you know, you can mix and match with your embellishments. So I'm liking how those look. I think they're really pretty. And then I'm adding a little bit of the butterfly, a couple of butterflies. So a couple butterflies, and at the very end I add a bee, and I don't know if I add that on camera or not. Bees are not something that I use very often, but these ones happen to be pretty cute, and so I decided to go ahead and put one on there just to round out the two. I had two butterflies, and so just to bring in another winged animal and round it out to a set of three. I don't know. I thought it looked cute. Also, I think it was just kind of laying on my desk, and I had kind of put everything away, and it was a random bee just laying out, and I was like, you know what, this would look really cute on this layout. So, you know, sometimes that's how it goes. I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive to adhere things down. The floral clusters are making it really easy to go ahead and align everything on that left-hand side of the page and give me a nice vertical line of flowers. And then I've actually tucked in a few of the single flowers here and there, and some of the stems that have the leaves and the buds on them, and I think they look really pretty. I really like the way that this is all coming together. I'm really hoping my niece will like it. I think she will. It's kind of something that I think is a bit her style, so she will probably really like this one. And it's just an adorable picture of her daughter, so what's not to like, right? I am making up the outside of the frames, adding a little bit more black to this layout. I know there's not a lot on here, but there is a little bit along the edge on the right hand side, and then there is a little bit of splatter and a little bit of inking in black. So I think that qualifies for my gold, blue, and black. And if you want to see more people playing along with those colors in varying formats of mixed media, there is a link to our Mixed Media Mayhem playlist down below. You can also go and join the Facebook group, which if you go to the albums, you will see the upcoming recipes or inspiration that we are working with. And you can play along and post in the group and share what you have created as well. You will also find the link to Off the Board down below, and everybody is using different pins for Off the Board because we're working from our own Pinterest boards. So you're going to see all kinds of inspiration in that playlist. Nobody's playing or using the same items, so it'll be a very wide assortment of inspiration, and you should go and check that out as well. Now I do have some flair here that I am using, also I believe from Grateful Heart, and normally I would just take it to my big machine and run it through and smash it, but I didn't feel like uncovering my machine. It had its cover on it and it was all like tidied up and everything. So I just used my little machine, and it didn't go all the way through on the first round. I had to kind of like, when you're rolling out a pie, you know, you roll from the center out to each side. That's what I did. but I didn't roll from the center. I rolled from the outside in, and then I would have to turn it a quarter of a turn, roll it again, turn it a quarter of a turn, roll it through again, and all of that good stuff so that it would flatten out. And I like the way it looks a lot better when it's flat because it just doesn't add as much dimension, but it still gives me that shiny circular surface, and I really like it. So I'm going to go with that. Now here I'm just auditioning a few different labels, seeing which one I feel fits the best down here underneath her photo. I have several different sizes available. And at first I thought I was going to use this small one, but I don't believe I end up with that small one. I think I end up with a larger one at some point. Oh, maybe I ended up with the small one after all. Like I said, it's been a while since I did this layout. I'm also adding some of these little phrase flags. The tricky part was I wanted the little fishtail end on the right hand side of each, and not all of them had the fishtail on the right hand side, so this particular one I ended up having to hand cut myself, and then I'm tucking the other end in, and I think that looks super cute. I'm going to add 3 of those just to keep it with my little odd numbers here, and I'm really liking the way that this comes out as well, just to kind of finish the layout off. Now I say it's to finish the layout off, but I do believe I go back and I add some sequins, and they are up at the top right hand side of my screen there. I'm going to add a bit of those using my crystal katana and a little Nouveau glue. I'm not adding a ton, just a little bit, and that's going to actually be what finishes off the entire layout. I do use some foam dots to give a little bit of extra support to these little banner flags because they are kind of layered up on all of those flowers and needed a tiny bit of support. And those are really thin foam dots, so they're not adding a ton of texture. They're just giving a little added support. And I like how that looks. So here's where I'm just adding the sequins. And once I get those on the page, it will be all done. My crystal katana, in case you're interested in that, I bought mine at Hobby Lobby way back when they had the 40% off coupons. Yep, that was some time ago. But you can find very similar items at any of your craft stores in the jewelry section. They're like a gem picker, and it's got a wax end on it, and that's what really does the extra work. Now I just added a few dots behind each of the butterflies to give them a little path that they are flying on. And here is that little bee that I've added as well. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this one. If you did, I would love for you to hit the thumbs up button. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. I'll get back to you as quickly as I can. It does sometimes take me a little bit of time to respond, but I read and respond to everything. So leave anything down below that you might want me to see. And I'll be back again with another video soon. See you then. Bye-bye.